Hello, hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion today. This is the place where creators connect to inspire, share their ideas and stories to transform the world through raw and unedited talk. And today, audience, I am here with family. They're like family to me. The Dean men. I'll call them the Dean men. Stacy Dean, Taylor Dean, and Tyler Dean. If you've been watching this podcast for any amount of time, you have seen all of them. So that's just a little bit about who they are. But guys, I want to say welcome to the Connecting Point again.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome, welcome. And I've pretty much told a little bit about the Connecting Point. They are from my hometown. They are like family. And so we just gonna go with it. They are actually here today to inspire. Yes, they are here to inspire listeners worldwide. How are they going to do that? Through their personal testimony. So, Taylor and Tyler Dean, we're going to start with you. Mm-hmm. This time last year, November, we all remember it was a time that wasn't so pleasant for you. Can you talk a little bit about what was going on during this time last year?
Last year around this time, where do I start? Last year around this time, it was like it was around this time back in November. I remember, it was a cycle of changes for me at the moment. Looking back, I was at a time of my life where, being 20, I was in a time of my life where I didn't really know what was going on with me at the time. Looking back over a year from now, I'm honestly blessed to sit here and like share my testimony with the world, with whoever's listening, whoever will receive this message, because it's important. I think God used me as a vessel and as someone to go through what I went through last year, to be here, to be a voice. Not only for, Black men like me and Taylor and my father, but, men, period, women, period. But most importantly, yeah, like I'm talking about myself as a Black man and how a system is corrupted and designed to hold us back from who we truly are called to be. And I say that to say, last year I was going through like a you can call it a mental health crisis. I don't know, but I really think deep down inwardly it was a spiritual awakening within myself to awaken something in me that who I am today, to sit in front of the screen and share my testimony. So last year on this time I was in a mental institution. I spent probably like 4 or 5 days there. But leading up to that point, it was different scenarios that I really couldn't grab hold of. And I remember like last year, I was literally sitting on this bench right here with my dad around this time last year. And I remember like yesterday, I was sleeping on the couch and I woke up out my sleep and I grabbed my phone. I immediately called 911 because I needed answers for myself. And not knowing the outcome of what would happen, not knowing what was on the other side, but I just knew something in my spirit needed an answer. And at that moment, I called 911. I remember like yesterday. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, you about to go on a ride," and I was like, "What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?" At the time, I was confused, and I remember like yesterday, the ambulance came, and like how the memory, it plays back in my head how like the people came in the house and like they were getting ready to transfer me to the hospital. But in those moments, I was scared, I was panicking, and I told them like I was like, I'm not going anywhere unless my dad is behind me. And I remember just going through that process of how scary it was. You know, I remember I got to the hospital and they were doing like blood work on me. You know, they had me in an ambulance, and I didn't really quite have awareness of what was going on at the moment. And you know, uh, all I'm gonna say is that what I learned through that process, that those facilities and sit it's not really designed to help us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really designed to help people like us. And then they throw you on medicine, they throw you on all these things to, the really say that it will help you, but internally it doesn't heal the wound, doesn't heal the problem. And I think what I discovered within myself this last year, that my problems came from trauma that I didn't deal with. And if you don't deal with a trauma, it will show up at your doorstep. And that's when you have to sit within that with yourself and say, hey, I'm gonna tackle on this. This doesn't define me, and I think that was a pivotal moment in my life where the God was just stripping me clean to really show me who I am within myself. And in that moment, I learned in that facility that nobody was coming to save me. No, my dad couldn't come in there and save me. My mom couldn't come in there and save me. Nobody was coming in there to save me. In that moment in time, I had to ask myself, Tyler, what are you gonna do? In this moment, it showed me how strong I was and how resilient I was and how determined I am to this day to not to be denied because of the color of my skin, because of my past, of my parents' past, and not realizing that we're all healing from generational trauma. And I realized sitting within myself that the problem didn't start with me. And once I accept that the problem didn't start with me, then I'll find peace along my journey. And I feel like that's why I discovered going through those mental challenges with myself that I have internal peace, that my past doesn't define me anymore. And I'm okay with accepting that I don't have a mental illness. I'm perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna use my voice to help other people to let them know that it's an answer, and the answer is leaning upon and on God's understanding, but also healing within yourself. And you know, I have a lot of coping mechanisms I deal with. I have an accountability group. Uh, I use meditation to calm my mind. I journal. Um, Sometimes I even sit in silence just to get the solitude for myself to calm my mind down and to really uh tackle the root problem. And also I discovered in situations I have anxiety, like situational anxiety, where now I know how to deal with it more so than I did maybe a year ago. And like I said, a lot of these problems we get from our parents, but as a black race, these things are not talked about because we suppress it all the time and we always move on like it's okay, everything will be okay. But emotionally, it's not okay, and these things need to be brought to the surface so we all can heal. And so that's what I went through last year. But I'm honestly blessed to sit here in front of the screen and share my testimony because I'm not gonna lie, last year I didn't think I would be I didn't think I would be here. I actually thought I was gonna leave this earth. Like internally. I was fighting a fight that I don't think people understand. And I asked myself like, God, how did I make it through? You know? Like, why did you choose me to come out on the other side? And I think for this very moment like this is the reason why I have to do what I have to do. The fight is bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm officially a student at South Carolina State, and ever since I've been there, just God is just revealing so many doors and obstacles and showing me who I am and what I mean to this world. And I must say the people before I end what I'll say is the moment you think things are tough, the moment you lose hope, I think God is really opening doors, and that's when you just have to sit back and be patient to let Him bring in something because you may be looking at it from your perception that I'm going through this storm to break me down, but that storm really opening you up to who you are called to be. And I tell people all the time, I was just talking about this earlier, like us as human beings, we're like a current, like a water state. Like we always gonna flow in and out of situations of life. So you gotta just accept the current as you are and continue to flow. And that's how I make peace with myself. So that's all I have to say. But
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking a lot of things are going through my mind while you're talking because you and I have had conversations too about your spiritual journey. That's what this was for both of you, actually. And to see you evolve so much is a miraculous thing. So we're going to talk more about that later. But I did want to give Taylor a time to chime in. Did you want to chime in on your experience, Taylor?
yeah, fair. I'll just I won't say much, but I will say, you know, around this time last year, it was some mental battles, some mental things that I had to get through. Um, by the grace of God, I'm here sitting in front of the screen, and I think, you know, we live in a world now where everyone is searching for an answer. Everyone is searching for, you know, something. Um, you know, but uh I sit here today to just let people know that, you already are the answer because God put you here. And like Tyler said, you just have to look within. That's when the real healing and it's not easy. I won't sit up and say, oh, I have it all put together because I don't. I still work and still try to put one foot forward every day. But I will say that, you know, the answer is, coming together and showing up on spaces like this to do it together. This isn't something that initially God didn't design for us to do it alone. So I just say that, last year I was going through, my mental journey again, because I've been to a mental facility twice, but like Tyler said, that doesn't define who I am. It just amplifies the rooms and doors and spaces God wants me to go to as his child. And I am extremely blessed, to be on this in this space to, give inspiration and to shed my light on, what we are talking about. But yeah, I was, going through a lot last year. Um, I won't say that, you know, what we think is meant, to harm us, to kill us is actually, you know, building us up and molding us. And, I feel like God was just molding me again and rebuilding me back up, um, inwardly and outwardly. So, that's what that's my take on it. And, uh, yeah, now I'm just in a space where my mindset has changed. Is how can I not look at the negative side of things, but how can I look at the positive too, and give people some encouragement and some hope to move forward and push forward and change the narrative and the 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 whole narrative when it comes to whether it's mental health, your spiritual journey, or and just life. So that's what I would say.
You know how I look at this? I look at this as if God doesn't entrust you with such a journey unless he has something so much bigger for you. And so, everybody doesn't get to testify that they've been through something so traumatic
Mhm.
The reason being is because he can trust you with it now. He can trust you with what he has put in you now.
Mhm.
And I see it. Oh God, I can't even tell you how much. I think I've told Tyler how much I see it. And just watching it, evolve is amazing. Now, Stacy,
Yes, ma'am.
I remember this time last year with you too, and I want you to tell a little bit about how you felt as a father during this moment when they were going through spiritual transformation. I'm not going to even say mental illness because I don't really think that's what it was. I mean, it was a spiritual awakening.
Right.
It was. So, how did you feel during this moment?
Well, Dr. Janelle, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, as a father, and then too as someone that you feel like God appointed you to do things. I knew what Taylor Tyler was going through, and I had to be obedient and move out of God's way. When God is wrestling with you with some things, and me and my good friend Greg Bailey, we call it the come to Jesus moment. Your come to Jesus moment is not some more where God is trying to put you in a negative light. He just wants you to realize that who He is, and you get through all things, all things with God's grace and mercy. But I just want to kind of like shed a little light on you. And the reason why I reached out to you, Dr. Simmons, because for the last couple of weeks leading up to this point where we're at now, I said, Dr. Simmons, I want people to understand how great God is. And then even in your darkest moment, there'll be a light that will shine, So I can understand what was going on with Taylor and Tyler at this point around by this time last year. But I had to endure it. And so I reached out to you and I said, Dr. Simmons, I want other people to know that if they have children or they have loved ones, it's bound through whatever they're going through spiritually, mentally, or whatever. God is so awesome. And so, because remember, by this time last year, Dr. Simmons, I was suffering. I was suffering not for what I was suffering, worrying about Taylor and Tyler, what their mental state was, this, that, and the third, and for God to have them in that place last year, just so they can draw closer to Him. And a year later, by both of them, around by this time, both of them was in the mental health hospital, but not because of something I don't think they did or whatever, but it's a journey. And so, but now I can, I'm very proud to say that Taylor and Tyler's in a different headspace now. Both of them are at South Carolina State University, and they're doing. And the thing I love about Taylor and Tyler is their courage and their willingness to share with others, to save others. So I reached out to you and said, Dr. Simmons, I just want to share my testimony because people look at some of the things that you do, and of course, social media is a different thing, and I've always never been one to shy about what God is doing for me and allowing me to be a vessel to do for others. But a lot of people don't know. Remember, this time last year and leading up to this point, what me and my sons that were going through, or what our family was going through. I'm talking about their mother and everybody on both sides of the family. So to sit here today, Dr. Simmons, and for Taylor and Tyler to have the courage to share with you what they went through, and we just want to inspire and help others, and understand that hey, God works on His time, not our time.
Yeah.
But for them to be here now and to be enrolled in school and to make an impact on other people's lives at South Carolina State University, as well as just me. They inspired me to do two different things. But no, it was difficult. It was difficult. Guess what? You think everything is normal, but you never know what's going through people's mind. You never know what they're embattling on. And Tyler just mentioned some things that he has been dealing with and wrestling with ever since he was a child. And I'm pretty sure Taylor has some things too as well. But the most important thing is, Dr. Simmons, I want to help inspire others and to let parents know, communicate and talk with your children, allow them to have their space to to share with you some things they're going through, because sometimes we feel as though because everything should be right, it may be right with you, but it may not be right with your children. So allow them to have their space and time, and you know, not like I said, you keep living, you keep living. I tell people this all the time, Dr. Simmons, and I'll let you speak after this. It's so much easier for you to go to God and to give your life to Christ or confess and all that good stuff. But when God comes to you, he has a wrath to it. And so when he's trying to get your attention and he's trying to show you how much he loves you and to put him first, I'm not saying that was not the case with Taylor and Tyler, because they always had a relationship with Christ. But at the same time, that coming Jesus moment, Dr. Simmons, it can be something else. But the beautiful thing about that coming Jesus moment is how you are when you come out of it. How you come out of that storm, where you at in your life, and how God can use you to inspire and encourage other people to get through any kind of difficult situation that they're going through. So that's why I wanted to ask Taylor and Tyler was okay for them to share their experience with others. And also too, I reached out to you because I told you, anybody gonna narrate this thing, it has to be somebody that got the spirit of God on. It just can't be anybody that we're gonna open up our houses and our homes and our hearts to. It has to be spiritually led. And so that's why I reached out to you, so we can just share this with other people.
Now, another thing that I was thinking of as well is this is also an indication that our children are just entrusted to us.
Right.
Mm-hmm. God entrusted your children to you, my children to me, and anyone else. But there comes a time when they got to travel their own journey. And we raise them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But ultimately, they have to find out who God is for themselves and who they are in Christ. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful that Taylor and Tyler, y'all are doing the thing, and there's so much more that you're going to do. And so would you all say that this has been a faith journey?
100%. 100%. Yeah. 100. You want to speak? Yeah. I would just say, the whole. That's the whole. I feel like that's the whole objective God is trying to get through all of us, especially in today's time. Is are you gonna have everlasting faith? Even when you don't know what it looks like, even on your darkest days when you don't have that answer, or you don't know what's going on. What are you gonna actually where are you actually gonna put your beliefs and your trust into?
Yeah.
I think faith is, something nowadays we have to grab a hold on to more than ever, because there's a lot going on in the world every day, and you never know what others are going through. So I just know my journey. I'm pretty sure you can say the same thing has been, just have an everlasting faith. When I don't have anything else, I know I can depend on my faith. And I just think that, now we have to, instead of a parent or a child, I don't know, times have changed. I think, you know, when a child or, even a young adult like me can express myself and even talk about the things I have been dealing with throughout my childhood. When I can have the faith, or I can have the courage to go to my parent to ask them about their childhood, I feel like that's when we actually get to that level to evolve together as a whole. I think that's what, is very important. And nowadays it's like not being ashamed to ask your parents about their journey as a child to where they are now. And I think, that I really do have faith that that will be the way we can handle a lot of things. So
And
faith is
how we heal as a
yeah.
The size
community.
of the seed, Doctor, and the size of a mustard seed, the faith is the size of a mustard seed.
But to speak on that, on what Taylor was saying, we grow up as adults but forget when we're children.
Mhm.
I don't want that to go over people's heads. Like we grow up as adults. Don't forget that we were once children and that we still are children. So if you walk with in this thing called life and don't and forget that you're a child of God, number one, then I feel like at that moment in time you have to remind yourself of who you always was once, was a child. So I'm saying that to say that first of all, never let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. Because to this day forward, I will never let nobody dictate my life anymore because God has scripted me and showed me his plan for me. So I'm not answering to, yeah, my dad is here to lead me, and my mom and my father and my parents are here to lead me. But God specifically has me on the path he wants me to walk. And for the world and who I am, I have to walk this path because it's going to save many people's lives. And I say that to say that what I discovered in my life, you have to have faith. You have to have faith and you have to stand on that faith no matter who believes in you. You have to imagine, you have to dream, you have to put yourself in position
Mm.
within yourself to know that you can be that light. Because people will tell you every day, you're not that, you're not this, you're not this, you're not that. But when you go within yourself and God show you who you are, then you won't listen to all that doesn't matter. And for me in my life, that's going out the window. Um, it's crazy. 5 months ago, probably like 5, 6 months ago, I was sitting in my dad's living room watching a movie. It was a Mary J. Blige movie.
I
This
know
how
which one you're talking about.
God works.
Yeah.
You don't even know the people in your path he gonna put in your path to show you who you are. So
Ah.
so about 5, 6 months ago, I'm sitting on the couch watching the Mary J. Blige movie. I'm watching BMF. You know, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm profound with Da Vinci. Da Vinci is in BMF. He's known as Terry in BMF. It was just something about his presence in BMF and the Mary J. Blige movie that it had me like cultivated in like, bro, I see myself in that. Like I see myself in this guy. And so 5, 6 months, year later, like homecoming week, um, me and Taylor did a Jason Weaver acting seminar. Uh, one of the most humblingest experience I ever had. Jason Weaver is a great guy. Um, his team was great. So much genuine people. I mean, we met Orlando Jones, who was in Drumline. Most God, definitely a God-fearing man. That he spoke so much wisdom and life to everybody who was in there. Um, so I was blessed to experience that, and then that same day, uh, Da Vinci came to South Carolina State, and that was nothing but God. That was a profound moment because as he came there to speak on mental health, and as we sat in the crowd, Taylor was sitting next to me. Taylor had on his beanie, and Da Vinci was like, "Hey, guy in the beanie, I was in your same shoes." And I felt God was speaking to me and him both in that moment to let me know that's who I'm called to be. That I'm no different than him. And one of the factors I left with was how profound the connection was. And from that experience forward, it showed me that you don't know who God is going to put in your path. You don't know the blessing he has for you. So in those dark times, you really got to just hold on, you know, because he has so much better. He just has so much better always. So I'm just blessed to be a light to people. I when I pray to God, I ask him all the time, God, just let me be that light in the darkest rooms to somebody who may need a vessel, who may need somebody to look upon to just give them wisdom and encouragement to better their story and their life, because Lord knows I need somebody. Lord knows I need God. So I just always ask God to let me be the light and let me be who I am called to be, because, as a black man in America right now, I feel like we don't have enough voices. We have voices, but we don't have enough people like my age speaking this. We don't have enough of those, and we need to utilize this because this is a gift. Our voice is a gift, and they know how powerful it is, so they want to shut us up. So we got to speak and we got to use it, because that's going to be the weapon, not putting up this and putting guns up. We got to use this, because if we use this, we can come together and be united. I'm gonna leave with this. The singer R&B singer Tank, he said they don't fear our violence. He said they don't fear our violence. You see, they don't fear our violence because violence is happening all around us. They fear our love for one another as a black race. And I say that to say, if we love one another, we'll be powerful beyond measure. But it starts with dropping the ego. It starts with dropping your pride. And that's when you'll see growth. So I'm just glad to be here.
Well, the scripture is coming to me that we overcame the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. And so you all, let me tell you something. There's so much greatness. There is so much greatness. I'm excited to see what's coming next. Yes, I am. And like you said, our words are very powerful, those that are negative and positive. So you got to watch what you put out of your mouth.
Right.
I'm going to say that to the audience again.
Right.
Watch what you say. My children will tell you, my mama don't play that. Watch what you say out of your mouth. If it's not good, don't say it. Because really, God knows your thoughts. Even if you don't say it. So what you thinking? I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna stop. But anyway.
Right.
Is there anything else that you all want to say? Because I want you to leave a point to ponder with the audience. Something that they can think about going forth, because everybody's journey is different. I will say that. Everybody goes through struggle. Everybody goes through a moment where they have to sacrifice something. So in order to get what we need to get as a people, as a community, as individuals, what can you leave them pondering with?
I would say find it don't gotta be family, it don't gotta be blood related, but find at least 3 people you can call on an everyday basis. Or reach out to at any given moment that you trust. Or, someone who will call you on an everyday basis. Or
accountability group.
Yeah. I feel like that's very important when it comes to life nowadays. Friendship is very important, and love. And our generation is a little bit different because we may not have. It's hard to find true, real friendship nowadays because the love ain't there how it used to be. Prior to when you guys probably grew up, I mean, it was still probably some things y'all had to navigate through, but now I want to express to people, just find at least three quality people that are trustworthy that you can count on and call on at any given moment who will have your best interest. That's all I would leave. I would leave. I would leave to people it's okay not to be okay. I would leave that it's okay not to be okay. I would leave when you're alone, you're not alone. That's what I learned. When I'm alone, I'm not alone. in those times of darkness, I would say lean on that faith. And whatever you're going through, you're not going through it for no reason. I would say that. I would say everything has a purpose to your life. But you just gotta know that this is actually meant for you to go through. No, I will leave people with that, and I will also say, what I've learned, is find some type of solitude that can calm you, that can relax you, that can bring you back to a moment with you and God to know, all right, God, I don't have the answers, but I trust you, and journal. I use journal methods. I it's so many things that we can do that we're not taught. And I feel like, you know, you don't need a sociology degree or any of these things to learn about what mental health is or what spirituality is. A lot of my life experiences have been experiences God has taken me through to learn these things. Um, Nipsey Hussle said one thing that was profound to me. He was says, "Your life experiences will be your biggest teacher."
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's true.
So
It's true.
it's a lot of things in my life comes with trial and error. Going to the mental hospital wasn't so bad that many people think. There's a lot of souls in there who aren't mentally ill. And I would say also too that you can't judge anybody by the flesh.
Mm. No,
You
you
can't judge anybody by the flesh because at the end of the day, what y'all hear is my spirit. Y'all just looking at my presence, but my spirit is leading me. My heart is leading me. That's the God that's within me that I have connected with within myself to be the biggest blessing in my life. And being from Athens, Georgia, now a lot of people don't think you can be that next person, but God knows you are that. Coming from Athens, Georgia, not many people who think they can be the Beyoncés, the Chris Browns, the Malcolm X's. But once you know internally who God called you to be, you can be anything you put your mind to.
That's right.
So, my faith isn't limited. I tell myself now, I'm like, Ty, you run your own story. I got to pen to my own story. So everybody has to pen to their own story. It's just about how you gonna write it. So that's what I'll end with.
Okay, well, Tyler, you know what? I gotta piggyback off that. Tyler, faith runner like me. We don't play. We're faith runners. But
And that's why
anyway,
I tell this guy, like, it ain't nothing you can't do.
that's right. I'm Tyler. You and I here.
It ain't nothing you can't do. Like, I see myself, I don't tell my business to many people, but internally I know where God is taking me.
Yeah.
And you just gotta trust it, you know? You just gotta trust it.
Mr. D, you got a point to ponder?
Of course I do, Dr. I've shown a lot of restraint in this session.
Yeah, you
because
I
have.
know it. I know it.
I really wanted to be about
Yeah.
Taylor and Tyler sharing their experience with young adults and their journey. And I also want people to understand, uh, you know, like Tyler said, your faith is everything. But faith without works is dead. I'm a firm believer in that. And so, but to piggyback on what he just said, this and then the third, Dr. Simmons, I want to let everybody know too. We live in this world. Everybody want to be glamorized, and everybody want to show the wonderful and beautiful things inside of their lives, but nobody wants to be vulnerable and show the dark side or the vulnerable side or the trials and tribulation. But I want this experience to be about them and let other people know, younger people their age and parents know that, hey, we have to allow our children to grow. And the most difficult thing that I had to do, and I'm still working on, is taking my hands off Taylor and Tyler and not just be so try to be controlling on every part of their lives. Allow God to use them. Allow God, because they had the same experience I had to endure, the same things I had to go through. It's their journey. It's their walk. And so allowing God for me to have my faith and trust in God when they're not in my presence. You know, when they're in school or they're going to class or when they're traveling back and forth between here and Orangeburg or wherever Taylor and Tyler is, God said, you know, my mom said a long time ago, she said, I I learned earlier, stop worrying about y'all so much and put y'all in God's hands. And she said she was able to start sleeping that night.
That's right. Your
And
mom is
so,
right.
yeah, so with that being said, Dr. Simmons, I'm hoping that this segment of the connecting point, it can uh change somebody else's perspective of how life is and what things happen in life. And if I can say anything to anybody, Dr. Simmons, you know, trust in God, man. You know, James Cleveland said, "Where's your faith?" The song, "Where's Your Faith?" You know, and then another thing, Dr. Simmons, I shared this song with you the other day. Live in me, Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
Live in me, Jesus. I be your legs to walk. I be your eyes. I be your mouth to talk. To
Yep.
show the generation. Jesus, they never seen before. You know what I'm saying? And so I just personally, Dr. Simmons, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I try to lead by example. And sometimes, you know, when things get a little tough and a little hard, I understand who the focus of this house is, and that's God's the center. He's our anchor. And so, you know, I thank God for Taylor and Tyler. They've taught me a lot over the last year or so, and they continue to teach me all the time because then I know the old school ways are not the ways of the days now. You gotta change,
You
man.
gotta do something.
Because if you don't change, you'll lose your children.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell you.
If you're not willing to listen, to learn, and to let them be themselves, then you will lose your children. But at the same time, Dr. Simmons, I thank God for you. I thank God for your spirit. I thank God for your wisdom. Because, like I said, we talk just about every day or every morning, and I had to make sure that if we're going to get this message out to other people that's battling mental health through the holidays or just battling mental health, period, or whatever present time moment they are in, that we fall back on our faith, we fall back on our relationship with Christ. So we just want to be an encouraging word to everybody. It's okay not to be okay.
That's
You
right.
know, you know, and when you find out it's okay not to be okay, then you're gonna even start feeling to be okay.
There's peace in it now.
There's peace in it.
That's
So I thank you for your time, Dr. Sim. I thank you for this one opportunity and this platform that you allow us to be on a connecting point at very short notice. Very short notice, but we just want to just thank you so much for allowing us to share.
well, y'all know I love you. It's from the heart. And before we get off here, I want Taylor, well, Taylor's gone. Tyler, tell about how people can connect with you. Because you got some other stuff going on, y'all. They got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tyler's been talking, encouraging people on social media. They perform, they sing. So tell the people how they can connect with you. Especially the young folk. They really need to
Oh
know.
yeah. Well, on Instagram, you can connect with me and Taylor on Instagram. I'll have to like drop my Instagram in the comments below. Probably like after the call or something like that. But yeah, on Instagram, right now me and Taylor are currently we're in school, but as far as our musical journey and our we're currently songwriting right now, so we are still paving a way for ourselves in the musical realm. Where our main focus is we released a project probably in April, But I think our main focus right now is songwriting, and to you just maneuver through that and just see whatever comes. Right now, we're also just branding ourselves a little different. Maybe getting in a little acting. We shot a short film probably like 2 weeks ago. It was really fun experience to see myself in front of a camera and like just play like some acting skills and just the maneuver and just this really like just expand and like see what you can do. So like I'm not really putting myself in a box anymore. Um yeah, so we've been doing that. That's been the main thing we've been doing. It's been a blessing. I can't say like, it's been a blessing. I'm just grateful for the small things, the blessings that I do have right now because it's just gonna push me forward. And it's not about me. Like it's not like I'm not doing this thing in my life for Tyler anymore because I think my purpose here is just to show little boys that look like me and little girls and kids like who was once me that hey, you can do this too. So it's not about me. I just want to give everyone hope through my story. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Want to speak what about where people can like
How
find us.
people can connect with you, Taylor. If on social media or whatnot, if they, want to reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
To ask you, because I see y'all speaking to, I see some other things, but I save them to later. But speaking engagements or any of that.
Okay, yeah. I'm on, Instagram. My Instagram is LUVTAYLO. You'll probably have to put it in the comments. Yeah, I'll probably put it below wherever in the comments or after the video is done. I also just started a space where connecting more young adults can come to this space or anyone can connect more on Clubhouse. You just have to download the app and I'll leave it in the comments too. I'm about to start a space called Dear Diary. It's just gonna be, uh a space where people can, share their experiences, their testimonies and, just trying to build something where people can grow together. So I just started that today actually. So yeah, I'm on Instagram and we also have a page on Instagram together that I'll leave below too if people want to contact us on that page as well. So I'll leave that below for everyone else. But yeah, I guess you can find the best way to find us right now, I guess, is through social media on Instagram and stuff like that.
All right, guys. Love you. Thank you so much for
thank you for
taking
having
the time to inspire other people.
It was a blessing to be.
Oh my goodness. And audience, like I say every week, if you would like to be a part of a discussion on the connecting point, you may reach out to me at drmarcyts@gmail.com. You may also go to the website, Dr. Marcy's Connections, or join a group of creators on Facebook. The Connecting Point for Creators group is just a platform for creators of all kinds to connect, network, promote, and receive daily inspirations weekly. This show airs on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Instagram TV, Facebook, Twitter, and you can get it on Wednesday nights at KBCN TV, Spotify, and Anchor. All that I ask is that you click, like, and share so that others will be inspired. Now, until we get this moment again, peace and blessings.